Jay Sned. Hello, Jay. Hello, Nastro. Nastro, Jay beat you to it today. Ibzi. You're hustling hard. What does that mean? Ibzi says, hello, Mehran. Nice to see you again. You're hustling hard. Hustling hard. Lol. Why am I hustling? Hello, Majid. Ibzi says, working hard is what I mean. Oh, wow. Not really. I used to have more live talks sometimes. Sometimes one time I had it for every day of the week to see if we can reach more people. Now it's just as usual, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And sometimes, like Friday, I couldn't do it. And Sid says, in Farsi, Salam Aghay Mehran, Dust Aziz. Hello Sid, how are you? Salam. I don't have Farsi fonts, so I can't type Farsi because there's no fonts here. And even if I have it, I have to look and remember which is where. I gotta look for them. I haven't done that for like years. But when I want to do something in Farsi, I would put the English ones and then I use the Google Translator. Then I copy the Farsi versions and put it where I want to do that. Zi Zhong Cheng says, how to win her back. So what about hello, Z? Like, hello, how are you? First time you're here. Jay Sned says, what are the signs of finally being over your ex for good? In fact, I have a video that I just posted a few days ago, which says, when do you know you're over the ex? And let me see if I have that link here. Maybe I can put it up for you. Till everybody gets there and we do our greetings. Let's see if I can find it here. There was so many stuff on that. Let's see, how to know. You might have to go on my channel and search it yourself, because right now, if I want to search for it, it might take a while. So we can have our live talk. Ah, there it is, I found it. There it is. Okay, it says, how do you know you're over the ex? I think that's what you want to find out, right? So, there you are. I don't know what I said in there, but I think they'll answer the question. So now that I've found out for you, we go to the next question and we bypass yours instead of. and and Jay says, still get nervous when I see her. Yeah, of course. You know, your hormones and the fact that this was mine. It's like you lose your bicycle or somebody steals it or someone, I don't know, it disappears. And you see it in the street, something riding on it. You say, oh, you don't know what to do. But then quickly say, oh, the hell with it. It's gone anyhow. So that initial excitement, it's always going to be there, especially that this is not a bicycle. This is a relationship. And you're a man and you like women. And so your hormones get excited and your feeling of ego and possession and all those things. And feeling like, oh, I'm not as much because she rejected me, so you kind of feel anxious about it all. But all of that is in your mind. In reality, nothing happened to you. Nothing whatsoever. It's only your conditioning, your hormones, your fear of, oh, what if I don't find any better ones, or the fact that she was mine, she's not mine now, and somebody else is better than me. All that feeling is all in your mind. If you were living in a society that from childhood you would see there is no conditioning of that sort, so when you grow up you wouldn't expect a exclusive relationship, so to speak. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying if that was our conditioning, we wouldn't care, pretty much. Big part of it is because how we are programmed, and our hormones and how we feel about this feeling of being with a woman and possessiveness and belonging and all that. And the others are a little bit of it is conditioning that we've received since through our culture and customs and all that. It's all in your head. The main thing to realize is that nothing has happened to you. You're just as wonderful as you've ever been. There's just as many women that there have ever been before to be interested in you as there are now. There are now as there were before. There's so many who want to get to know you. You have all the capabilities you had before. So, and that feeling that you're feeling anxious when you see her and all that, it'll all pass eventually, once you have somebody that you hit it off better with. And he says, or when I think about her, I still feel a little bit sad, but it's nothing too bad. 24 male Nagoya. Yeah. Nagoya. I think you were here last time before and you made some, I don't know if that's you or not. You made some funny comment that we weren't sure if you really genuinely want to be participating in our live talk or you were having some other motivations here. Jay, I must say, I hope I'm wrong, but somehow it didn't sound like you were here for the discussions. Hopefully I'm wrong. Because we get trolls here and there sometimes. And sometimes comments tells me a little bit about the intention. I hope you're not here for that purpose. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. Majid says, are you ignoring me, Mehran? No, why? Why would I ignore you? You said nice one to, oh, you said hi, hello, Majid. I must have just, it must have scrolled up and I saw the Farsi writing. How are you, Majid Jan? Now I pay more attention to just to make it up, make up for it. And so, let's see, why is it a bit tilted here? Ross says, hello, Mehran. M30 UK. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Ibzy Ibs says, the tea looks really good. Yeah, actually, it's, what is it? Today we have chamomile from Twining. By the way, guys, it's snowing in Vancouver today. Very small, it was a flurry, I guess. Overcast. It's bright, but I guess it's still a bit coming, but not much. Sweat all over. All right, let's continue with Jay for a second. Jay says, I still feel very sexually attracted to her when I think about her. I don't want to sound weird. I get horny. I used to think about all the sexual stuff we've done together. My ex desires is still there. And he adds, I've not made any funny comments. All right, Sid. I just remember last time a comment that came through was he's jealous that he's not getting any dates, and you were addressing that to me. So I just thought that was a little weird comment because it didn't make sense. So that's why I said that. If it wasn't you, great. If it was you, then you know that I noticed it. So let's go to next question here. We try to keep these live talks productive, positive, for everybody's enjoyment and learning something, sharing something together. So as soon as we see someone is having other motivations to be here, we notice it through comments and questions, and we ask them to not do that. So let's move on and let's see how this session would be. Ross says, hello, Mehran. Oh, we got that one already. Ibzy says, I'm actually drinking green tea. It says it helps in losing belly fat, I guess you mean. I don't know if it does. I used to drink lots of black tea and green tea too, not that much. The belly fat didn't go anywhere until I started increasing exercise. Mark Hanna. Hello, Mark. Mark says, hello, my favorite part of Sunday. Ooh, that's a good boost. Thank you. Foil Grim Timmy says, hit like for 8 hours. Okay, there are 15 of us. Let's see if we can get 15 likes. Yesterday, it was disappointing, you know. We had, I guess, 24, 25 people at one time. And I had only 16 likes. What the heck? Kazi Tuta says, Mehran, I will kill all your followers. Finally, I will be first here. Oh, I see. I thought you're going to kill all the... How are you going to... That was getting dicey. How are you today, my friend? He says, it's Sunday. Boring. Not really. I love Sundays. I love any holiday. I love any day that I don't have to work. And I love the live talks. I get to do what I really like to do, which is sharing and bringing some clarity to many of you around the world about who you are, how you're put together, and how we can better deal with challenges that we face during our day-to-day life. It will all help to put ourselves in an atmosphere of happiness, kindness, good positive thoughts, love as human beings should have for each other. And that flows a better quality of energy. As you know, energy of the universe is flowing from one end to the other end in all directions, front and back and right and left and all in between and up and down. But every time it gets to you, depending on what intentions you have and how you treat that energy, it may boost it outwardly, extend it away from you, continuing its journey with a different quality. That's why we want to make sure we're always affecting that energy that passes through us, and we become like a capacitor, giving it a boost. That boost would be a positive charge. So when it goes and arrives and touches other people on its journey to the other ends of the universe, it will give them a little bit of hope, a little bit good quality. And that's what the intention of good quality time spent with on your day with people that you like and feel comfortable with is all about. And that's why we're here, to have that effect as well. And so Ross says green tea is supposed to help reduce inflammation. Yeah, I heard lots of good things about it. It does reduce inflammation, but fat is not inflammation. So I don't know if how much we drink of it. It will not be fooled by thinking that fats are inflammation. All right, Sid N, it's a different Sid, says, I have Farsi letters on my phone. It's easy to do that. If you have an Android phone, I'm sure it's easy on iPhone as well. Yeah, I'm sure it is easy, but you know what? I don't use Farsi communications pretty much at all. And then when I want to look for them to type, it'll be so slow, I'll go nuts if I want to actually answer someone in Farsi. But at least in English, I do know typing, I type with fingers, not all fingers, but still much faster than it would ever be in Farsi keyboards. Especially I haven't done that for God knows how long. So I do Finglish, Farsi in English alphabets. And that's of course hard to read for the other side. Mark Hanna says, thumbs up everyone. Yes, please do. Foil Grim Timmy says 35 US mail. Oh, thank you. And he says, Mehran, I met a girl at work. She might have a boyfriend. Yeah, I think we talked about this yesterday, did we? But we got along so well. She hasn't mentioned anything of a boyfriend. I'm going for it. Yeah, you said that yesterday too. And I did give you the answer, you remember? Sid N says, please don't forget to press unlike. Yes, thank you. Please do. 16 of us. Let me see at least 16. And Jay Snet says, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I don't know for what, but my pleasure. Veneer says, hello, everybody. Hello, Mehran. Hello, Veneer. Good to see you here. Veneer says, finally, I catch you live. Well, have you been catching me dead? Where was it? Did you take me to hospital if I was dead? Well, of course, I'm delighted that you could find time and synchronize with us and be here. Timmy says, my ex works with me and saw me talking to the new girl. And? Now, Jay, you're repeating the same message. It's like a copy of that. You've already done that. No? Am I mistaken? It's like a double here. Anyhow, let's go on with Veneer says, here in UK is 8:37. Yeah, at least I'm not too late today. I'm glad that it's a little bit early. I usually want to make it between 11:30 and 12:30, but sometimes I stay up till about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because I have some clients like from Australia, Hong Kong, and places where time difference is quite a bit. So I have to stay up to attend to the Skype consultations that they have booked, and we arranged it for that time to work for them. So then on weekends sometimes I get up late. So Veneer, am I pronouncing your name right, or is it your name or screen name, or am I butchering it? Veneer or Veneer or Veneer? Says, Mehran, I would like to say thank you for the wonderful work you do for helping others. I've started watching you after my ex-girlfriend broke up with me. You've been a great help for me. I truly appreciate this comment. I'm delighted to hear that we are making a difference. And blowing my own horn here, I've had many comments like this, and I'm so happy to hear that from you guys, because if you guys don't give me any feedback about the difference that it has made in your lives and it has been helpful or not, I would know. And when I would know, I would just think I'm not reaching anyone. But thanks to you all, I receive wonderful emails every day in numbers, and that gives me that boost that I need to continue to eventually we get this channel to that 1 million subscribers that we are hoping for. Otherwise, if I don't hear these wonderful words, at least, you know, I wouldn't know what I'm doing or if we're making a difference or not. So I appreciate the kind words, Veneer. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to use all these kind words as testimonials. I'm sure that you guys will be okay with it. I hope you guys are okay with it. If you're not okay with it, well, you know, tell me you're not okay with it and I won't use it anywhere. But if you're okay with it, I may just get a clip of it. Of course, I will redact the names, like the screen name or whatever. I mean, I cover it. But there would be a little small screen logo here as you have, so it wouldn't show who you are, but at least it shows there's a person there. Let's see. Excalibur says, my brother from another. Okay, hi Excalibur. Where have you been yesterday? Yeah, you couldn't join yesterday, he says, but I can now. All right. Josiah Nicholson, I remember you yesterday, 18 Male Canada. Thank you for observing the protocol. Appreciate that. Says, hi Mehran, I was here yesterday. Yes, I remember you. Although I'm over my ex, you think. I feel like my actions are fueled by this desire to show her what she is missing out on. Yes, yes, that's natural. By that I mean yes, yes. How do I direct my actions toward myself and focus on myself? Just simply believe in this very philosophical, old, traditional from 100 years ago, that this magnificent philosopher came up and was able to clean his mind. It's only one sentence and says, I don't give a shit. Simply tell that to yourself. That you really don't give a shit what she thinks of you. You only care about what you accomplish in your life and how you affect the society and communities that you live in positively, and how you focus on attaining your goals. Because if you do that, then because of your actions and efforts and achieving at least partly, until you achieve complete goals that you have in mind, you feel a certain kind of a elation, certain kind of a confidence, because you're effective, you're doing something, and that doing something, that efforts that you're making makes you feel satisfied, confident, like you're worth something, that you have a focus. That by itself makes you feel comfortable enough that you don't give a damn what this or that girl thinks of you. Until then, later on, you find somebody that is hitting off well, and then you see what that relationship goes. There's no magic for you to say, it's natural for a man who is just broken up with the girlfriend to want to make her feel what you've missed. Sometimes you can use that as a motivation for you to go and attend to your duties and responsibilities and accomplish whatever it was you want to accomplish. Study better, get better, better grades, or whatever it is that you want to accomplish, do it better. For a while, you will think that you were doing it for her, and you have this imagination of, oh yeah, she's watching me. Let me do it this way. You go a little bit nuts on that case, but eventually you realize, I don't give a shit, because you pass that time zone that it is so important for you, because you're hurt. You want to show her, your way of retaliation is to show her that I'm so good. And, you may dress nicer, or you may just, I don't know, do some weird things. Just don't do any of them. Just focus on your life, because the most important person in life, you think it's her, but it's actually you. Why? Because if there was no you, she wouldn't have any importance in your mind. Everything in your life that seems to be of importance is because you are here. If you were not here, none of these things would have had any importance, for you. So, in fact, you're the most important person in the world to you. So you got to do everything for you to accomplish your goals, to make yourself feel good through your efforts and accomplishments. Then you begin to choose who really qualifies to be with you, rather than thinking that hormones make every other woman out there qualify for you, to make you feel that they're better than you and you must desire them. You don't have to desire them. You only teach yourself to desire the ones who actually qualify. You see, we went through the steps it takes for desire to be born. But there is a moment there that if you don't control it, everything that your genes and programs are designed for that will seem to be worthy of your desire. And you'll go after it. You're a heterosexual male, you love women, so any woman can turn you on and make you desire them. But not any woman, just because they're female, should be qualified, be considered qualified, because there's a lot more to a woman than her beauty or her looks. And you got to look for those qualities in a woman before you step forward or continue something that could be a relationship. Your relationship with a woman is not a relationship with the physical entity of a woman only. That's a prelude, that's an invitation that she's, you two find each other attractive physically, and then you're attracted, invited to pursue a relationship. But what you really build a relationship on is not with that physical avatar, is with what makes that physical look tick, which is all inside her consciousness. So you gotta learn about her. She's a lot more than a look. And if you don't expect anything more than just what you see, well, that's what you're gonna get. But if you focus on other things that you expect for her to have, so you guys would be compatible and in harmony with and find compatibility, then you have found someone that you can see if she's qualified to be in a relationship with you, to pursue a relationship with her or not. So my suggestion to you is that to understand that if you focus on the inner makeup of the woman that you're looking for, you have a better chance to find her qualified or not. So just because she's a female, that doesn't mean she's better than you. It just means that you desire her because that's how you're built. That's in the program that you have. You're a heterosexual male and you love women. So that's how you behave. But that doesn't mean that's all you should consider in order to have a woman qualified. So this one the same. If you guys have broken up, obviously means that you did not hit it off on consciousness level. Something at your age, her age, expectations, not knowing enough about yourself, not knowing enough about each other, or having a standard for the kind of relationship you want to have. None of that was in the play, so you kind of fall for any girl that seems to have the simple physical attributes that you're interested in. But you should ask for more, expect more from her and from yourself. So go build yourself. Now focus on yourself, and you wouldn't care about what she thinks, and that will kind of help you with the question that you had here. I hope that's something for you to think about. Mark Hanna says, male UK 26. Says, do you believe ex ever regret their decision of breaking up? Again, I have a video on that, Mark. And short of the long is, again, my famous quote, as Excalibur knows, is who gives a shit? You shouldn't give a damn if the ex regrets or doesn't regret. Who cares? The fact is she did what she did. That's the important thing. Now, whether she regrets or she doesn't, it's neither here nor there. It's not going to affect you. So what do you care? Okay, she regrets. So what? She doesn't regret. Oh, okay. So what? She has gone to her own life and you've gone to your own life. You don't even care 2 months from now or a year from now. Don't waste your time on these things. Move on to your next project, which is building yourself, your life, gaining that confidence, and then pursuing other relationships. That's all. Veneer says, I have a question, Mehran. Yes, sure. Is it any point at all in understanding NPD, narcissistic personality disorder? Well, it depends if it's yours or somebody else's. When you say, is there any point at all in understanding it, do you mean, is there any point at all dealing with it, putting up with it? Or do you mean, is it any point at all to understand it so you can tell your partner is narcissist or not, or somebody is narcissist or not? In both cases, I'm going to answer that question, but I hope you can clear it for him because, okay, he continues as, I know now that I had to deal with a narcissistic woman. Okay. I'm turning, oops, what happened? Jumped. What happened? It jumps all of a sudden 100 other questions. I'm tuning you from UK. I'm 37. I'm male and straight. Okay. What happened? that question has nothing to do with what you were asking. Or maybe I'm not looking at them in sequence. Sunny says, you pronounce my nickname. Oh, I see. Veneer. Very right. Okay, okay, good. Says, I'm okay to use my testimonial. You are worth it. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate for that authorization. I appreciate that. Now, could you please help me to understand your question a little bit better, Veneer, about what is it that you want to, your question is directed to? Is it worth it at all to understand a narcissistic personality disorder? In what context? To know about this problem? Well, it's always good to know how to tell, because most of us who are not narcissists and don't have narcissistic behavior or attitude or mannerism, we don't think others do either, because we usually judge other people with the way that we are. We mostly think other people are good and honest and so on, so we go into a connection or interaction with positive attitude, but yet it's not always that case from the other side. And if it happens to be not a regular friendship or interaction, and it happens to be with a woman that you are pursuing or interacting for the purpose of maybe considering a relationship, you can be really in trouble if you don't look for these signs. Because the woman's beauty will certainly cover up any other senses that you may have, or intuitions you may have, or direct facts that you would see from her behavior. You will just simply ignore it because your hormones and your desire for intimacy with her is so strong that doesn't let you really focus on her qualities, manners, class, mentality, thinking, narcissistic behavior, selfishness, none of that. Why? Because all you can see is that gorgeous pair of legs or her beautiful smile. And these are wonderful to appreciate, but at the same time, it could also be a double-edged sword by feeding your desire for pleasure, feeding your fear of losing this opportunity, feeding your inability to, or lack of, taking advantage of the opportunity of glorifying your ego, fluffing your ego. So you simply focusing on conquering, acquiring. That's what your program is, to be at your best behavior and make a good impression on her, and she would like you, and you're totally focused on that she would like you. So you will put up with everything that she says, all because you're excited, this beautiful woman sitting in front of you and you're talking to her. It's always important to us, but you have to understand about what she's all about is not what you're seeing, the limited information you get from just seeing her physical attribute in action. What really she's all about is what is in her mind, and her mind could have lots of glitches. So you got to be aware of these information about NPD. Is she narcissistic? Is she being selfish? Is she being dominating? Is she being controlling? Is she being all kinds of weird things, which when he gets a hold of you, it's going to be hard to get rid of. So you better know it right at the outset, so you can make a decision without getting hurt and without disrespecting her and causing any hardship for her, that you would simply wean yourself off from that opportunity and not enter it once you've already been cleared that this is not a good situation for me, because although she meets all my physical requirements, but what really is up there to make all that beauty function is not something that I can get along with or be compatible with the consciousness level. And then you move away. So in that note, yeah, it is important to know it. So But don't turn yourself into a shrink that you analyze every girl you see. You know, every one of us may say something or do something, but that doesn't mean you got to look for real, you know, qualified information in her, and you can see that. You go out with her a few times, you can see it. At least when you guys eventually get close enough and have consensual sex and are together for about maybe, I don't know, a month or two, it's clear for you. Now, don't ignore your own knowledge at that point, that you can see she's narcissistic, but you're so infatuated with her beauty and the good points that she has, because a narcissist is not always narcissist. They have this narcissistic behavior, which is most of the time they try to fool you by their proper behavior and kindness, but then they flip and they manipulate you. So once you found that out, then do not fall for your own desire. Say, no, but it's so wonderful when I'm with her, when you sleep with her, when you have outings with her, she looks gorgeous and all that. That's the opinion of other people that you're banking on, that you will feel fluffs your ego, that other people see you with a pretty girl. Just move away. That's not healthy. Understand it, appreciate the opportunity, and say, look, you know, I don't think we're going to just have that power to deny yourself from that sexual pleasure, the pleasure of being with her, but free yourself from being subjected to the narcissistic behavior, which the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to get rid of it. Because we're all human. You gain emotions toward her, and you know, you have feelings, and you establish memories, and it becomes, they all interfere with your ability to free yourself and move on and not get stuck in that relationship. So knowing about this, how narcissistic personality disorder is about, what are the symptoms and signs for it, yeah, of course it's good. It's good. And I think I have a video on that, by the way. If you just search for narcissistic behavior or something, narcissist, there should be a video on it. Achilles 25 says, hello Mehran. Antoine 51, male from LA. Hello Antoine, how are you? Good to see you here, dear. Excalibur says, that's right Mehran, I love any holidays as well, preferably a 6-month vacation twice a year. Yes, me too. Safe Landing Records. Oh, that's a first time. That's a name I see first time, with a kind heart, obviously expressing his or her gratitude for the channel. I appreciate that. And I would be grateful if you let me know a little bit about you, about where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and your gender, so we'll know what our demographics are at least, or at least when you come up with a question, I have a background a little bit. Juanpa Queiroz says, male 23, Costa Rica. Hello, Juanpa. Says, hi Mehran, how are you? I'm feeling great. Good. Thanks to you. Aha, delighted to hear that. Let me share what is on my mind today with you. Last Friday, I went to a party with one friend from university. There was a girl I have always liked, and we had a great time on Friday. Aha, good. We talked a lot, hugged, danced, and there was good chemistry. I almost kissed her, but at the end I couldn't. I thought I failed because it was my only chance, because now it's impossible to see her again. Or at least I don't have an excuse because we don't talk a lot. And he says, but my point is that I have a great time with another woman that was not my ex who broke up with me 2 months ago. That made me really happy because I could realize I could try it with someone else. Well, that's what we've been saying all along. That's what this whole channel is all about. And the fact that this girl have always been amazing to me is even better feeling. Yes, true. And we continue with Juan Paz, the new author of the book of today's story. Says, later on Saturday, my ex-23 texted me because she realized I was at the party with those friends, because she saw a picture of me and this girl on Instagram, and she have always been jealous with this specific girl because she knew I found her pretty. My ex basically texted me to criticize the girl that were on the party, so I didn't answer her, but that attitude of her made me wonder that the hell is wrong, what the hell is wrong with her? It just shows you that she's not all that you thought she is. She's just another human being, and no, obviously jealous that some other prettier girl is paying attention to you. Sorry for all the message. Thank you, Mehran. Well, you're quite welcome. But next time when you meet a girl, or this same girl, or it's a girl for the first time, and you don't try to kiss her just because. I didn't say don't try to kiss her. I meant don't try to kiss her, but they qualified it. There's a following. Just because you have to, or there's an opportunity. Treat her with respect. You have a fun time with her. And you guys are dancing and hugging and talking. Don't try to take advantage of it further than what is called for. If the atmosphere shows it's appropriate and she's also feeling it, you can feel it, then you guys may both have the, tendency to do that, the gravitation toward that. But if you think, no, I saw a girl, so I have to kiss her in order to call that a success night. No, that's bullshit. That's pretty much disrespectful, and at the same time, doesn't leave a good impression of you in her mind, because it looks like you're just there to enjoy the physical interaction only at the first date. You can enjoy each other both, in interaction, dancing, that's the physical part, and mentally get to know each other a little bit. Maybe it's not the right place in the party to try to be heavily into philosophy or getting to know each other. I understand that, but at least don't try to turn it into the only opportunity, and part of the protocol is that I gotta get a kiss in there, then it will be a successful night. No, don't think anything sexual would mean that you just scored or something. Just enjoy the moment. She will also feel safe and protected at the same time. Will think of you as a nice guy and good guy, a gentleman. At the same time, she was interested in you. But if you go too forward, she'll feel like, what was it? What's this deal of have to kiss? You don't have to. So don't call that a failure. In fact, it was a tremendously successful party for you and enjoyment with that new friend. And don't worry, if you see her, you can just have a couple of sentences, hello and how are you, and it's no big deal. Don't think there was the only chance. You will see her again. Okay, now. Stefan Sorensen says, 26, male, Connecticut. I think it's CT stands for. I'm jealous of my ex-22-year-old. She could be sleeping with other men while I'm not with any girls at the moment. How do I not care what she does? Well, you can't not care what she does. It's how we are. We care because she was our girlfriend. So we have this kind of a uncomfortable feeling that if anybody else she's now with. But what you really should notice is that when you broke up, what do you think she's going? She's not she's not living in a convent. She's going to meet other boys. And if you have in your mind that when you broke up, you don't want her back, then you'll be okay with it. But if in your mind you think, no, I broke up, but I want her back, then you will be not okay when you think she's having sex with somebody else. Simply sever it. We tried to resolve things, we tried to compromise, it didn't work out, we tried again, it didn't work, we finally broke up. Now that it's broken up, consider it done and focus on other wonderful possibilities, wonderful girls out there for you to know. Whether she sleeps with somebody else or not, disassociate yourself with her in your mind that I don't want her. Not that I don't want her because she doesn't want me. No, I don't want someone who doesn't want me. Therefore, yes, she doesn't want me, but also because of that, I don't want her either. When you don't want someone, then you don't care if she's with somebody else or not. But you care because you still want her. Deal with the fact that you do not want her or you do want her, and then you'll be all different the way you feel when she's going out or sleeping with somebody else or not. Treat her like a girl that you don't know in your mind. There are many girls out there, they're sleeping with other people every night. They have boyfriends or they don't, or whatever their lifestyle is, and you don't know these girls. But definitely these girls that you don't know are having sex with somebody. At least many of them. But you're okay with that, right? Because you know you don't have any notion of them. You don't have any connection with them. You don't consider them part of your circle. You don't consider them your ex or your girlfriend. You don't have any kind of a intimacy memory of them. So you don't care. That you're okay with the other girls that you don't know being with other men, right? Well, you gotta first deal with this one in the same way. Think that now that we've broken up, I feel the same way about her as I feel about the girls that I don't know and they're sleeping with somebody else. Once you get to that point, then you're okay with her doing whatever she does. But if you're focusing on her, thinking that you still want her, even though she doesn't want you, well, that's your problem. Because you have to solve it in your mind that why would I ever want someone who doesn't want me? The first and most important qualification category or criteria for you to accept a woman and want to be with a woman is if she wants to be with you or not. As soon as she doesn't want to be with you, that's a disqualifier. That disqualifies her to be with you. If you think that way, then she already has disqualified herself. She is no longer qualified for you to desire her. So that's the end of that, right? So get that, sort that out in your head. That I'm okay with it. I know she's going to sleep with other guys, and it's okay with me because I don't want her. Unwant her, it doesn't matter what she does, you'll be okay with it. But as long as you still want her, then it matters to you what she does. So I hope it's a start for you. And I have videos on that on the channel. Maybe I gotta change the titles of the playlist and categorize them this way. All right. Stefan. Fall Grim Timmy says, Mehran, make a t-shirt that says I don't give a shit and I'll buy 20. I'll hold you to that. I'm gonna make one of these tomorrow or tonight or whenever I get a chance. Or maybe I should say she's going with someone else and then I don't give a shit. Or just I don't give a shit. Adam says, hello Mehran. Hello Adam. Why is it becoming so evident that men are the weaker sex dealing with breakups? Women seem to be so much stronger emotionally when ending relationships. Men are making women their gods. Well, I don't think it's true that women are stronger than men when it comes to breakups. They also have feelings, and they also cry, they're sad. It depends what kind of person it is, what kind of a man it is, what kind of a woman it is. Not every woman has that kind of a feeling. Some, yeah, don't, they're built differently. And not every man is sensitive and cares about his ex and misses the girlfriend and maybe affected so heavily or cries or whatever. Depends how they're built. But in general, the good ones, they always get hurt, men or women, when they are in balance and naturally concerned about, they have natural balance in their emotions and in their strength, and everything is balanced in them. They will miss and they will feel it hard when they break up with their girlfriend or the girls with the boyfriend. They will feel it. It's not just one side hurts and the other one doesn't. But generally speaking, women have an easier time to move on depending on cultures. In cultures that this business of sex and boyfriend girlfriend is not so openly accepted and practiced, they will have a hell of a hard time than the men do, because socially the doors are closed on them, and it is not acceptable to have sex with this guy and then have another boyfriend and then later have another boyfriend. It's just their conditioning makes it more challenging to go through breakups. The custom and traditional conditioning that they've received about these relationships and the socially accepted behavior in these sort of things makes it more difficult for women to deal with breakups in such societies. But in most Western societies, European, North American, all that, which, it's not a question, it's not a concern, and it's accepted, then the reason that in such societies women have mostly shorter mourning time, let's say, shorter hurt time after a breakup, or they get over it easier or faster than most guys do, is because there are more guys waiting in line to meet her and court her and pay attention to her and take her out and so on. Why? Because men are built that way. They are built to be pursuing, they're built to pursue a female. Heterosexual male is programmed in his genes to pursue female for procreation. So as soon as he sees a female, he's just different, and he wants to go for her. He wants to introduce himself to her. And that is the prime directive of a heterosexual male, to pursue that desire, that program, that in his genes. So the girls have always somebody interested in them. But the guys don't have girls lining up for them. So there's less opportunity for them. So they feel the breakup is affecting them harder, because the replacement part for that machine that is not working, the relationship machine, it's harder to find. But for girls, their replacement or more other opportunities is always abundant without them asking for it, because the male, heterosexual male, is designed and is programmed to simply follow instinct when sees a woman. That's why most often guys make a mistake in the type of a girlfriend with the mentality that it doesn't suit them, but they choose it. Why? Because they only went for their instinct, which is follow a female, try to introduce yourself to her. But girls don't choose boyfriends like that. They're not necessarily going for it just because they saw a male. That's why heterosexual male after a breakup have lesser chances to have other girls so quickly appear in their lives. They would have to do the hunting for it, searching for it. Girls don't have to, because there are guys coming there for them. So that's why it takes longer for the guys to recover. And also because of that other programs that we have in our gyms, the feeling of protection of the woman, the feeling of that this is mine, you know, the whole idea of in the old times, thousands of years ago, were, you know, hunter and gatherers, so we would have to protect the hunt. We had this sense of protecting, and that extends over to our women. We feel that's my territory, that my woman. These are all programs, necessarily not right or wrong. This is not what we're discussing here. It's just the way that the heterosexual males programming is built that way, to have that kind of feeling, the protective feeling, the going to battle for his woman and all that. That takes a little bit longer time to disappear when you focus on yourself, on your life, on building your life, and meet somebody else. It takes a little bit longer than women who usually have many other opportunities and suitors waiting in line, even though they haven't broken up yet. So I hope that is some kind of a guidance on that note. Adi Lungu, that's the first time I hear this name. Says, hi Mehran. By the way, guys, have you had a chance to click on like? Because we really need YouTube to see as many likes as possible. Especially when you share the videos, please do remember, make a comment. When you watch the videos, make a comment on the videos, like the videos. I do remember, the guys, that we have uploads every day on different points in the breakup or relationships type. I usually have live talks on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays about 12:30 or maybe a little later on or earlier, Vancouver time. And at the same time, if you guys wanted to talk to me one-on-one on Skype, you can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on Talk to Me for consultation, and then make an appointment and we will chat. Usually up to 1 hour that you make a booking, I will add another hour to it to make it more affordable and longer time for you. So you pay for 1 hour, but then you'll get 2 hours until further notice. And of course, if you go on my site, you will also get to see the books I've written. A table of contents is always open for you to look at it. Click on the book and the book opens and you can read a sample chapter. And I recommend for you to purchase the Me, My Psyche and I. If none of the other two, but Me, My Psyche and I. That's a book that lets you know a lot about yourself and helps you to realize why you feel the way you do, why you're going through the emotions that you go, what are the playing elements in the way you tick and how you feel and you go about negotiating your daily lives. It's a very good book, and you can have it on your library and reference to it whenever you feel like reading something light, at the same time informative. Transient Thoughts and Me is a book that talks to you about the thoughts that appear in your head and you didn't invite those thoughts. And you wonder, where do they come from? Why are they appearing in my head? And these negative thoughts, how do I deal with them? Do they define me? Do they mean anything to me, about me? So how do I manage them? And of course, the Breakup Pain Handbook, which is a book that you can take with you if you wanted to figure out a little bit more about your breakup, or you can watch all the videos that we have on this channel, which is about over 1,300 videos now. So if you would be kind enough to introduce this channel to your friends or to people that you know, such as, I don't know, school, a radio station, or papers, or people that you know in the news media, to bring their attention to what our channel is, it will help us out and puts us on the map, and helps us to reach more people, that there's support available, and at the same time makes this channel more successful and subscribers to increase, and give me more time to focus on what we want to accomplish here. So having said that, plugged all the books and the site and the Skype talks and all that, let's get back to Adi Lungu. Adi says, "Hi Mehran, 29, male, Romania. I wrote you a few months ago about my breakup story. She left me after a 13 years relationship and moved out to live with a male colleague, saying that they were just friends." Okay, yeah. I wonder if you did laugh when she said that to you, or you simply bought it. I'm sure that you knew what's going on. And Adi continues, "That was 7 months ago. Last week I talked to her and she told me that she waited for me for 3 months and wanted to come home, but I did not, to bring her back." Ah, come on. It's nonsense. We're not playing games here. You leave, I consider it you left. You can't be doing something and like say, "I'm hungry, but actually I'm not. I'm not hungry, but I'm hungry." No. And Adi continues, "I couldn't do much because I felt like there is a third person between us. Now she admits that she is in a relationship with this guy because he was the only one who supported her when she was suffering and depressed." Well, she's the one who left. Why is she not putting it on your head? She was with you. She moved out. She went and lived with another guy, and then says that she's in relationship with that guy because he was the only one around. Well, you were around, but she left you, so what do you expect from yourself? Adi says, "Could it be possible, or she is trying to make me feel bad and responsible for our present situation? I couldn't move on yet." Oh, she's full of surprises. This doesn't make sense. Your first question here was that she left me after 13 years relationship and moved out to live with a male colleague, saying that they were just friends. Look, this is all full of bullshit. There has to be some closeness, some arrangement, or some trust to some level that she would move out and go and live with another guy and call it just a friend. Even if he was just a friend, there must have been some history created. Otherwise, she could have stayed with a woman friend. Why a male friend? It's bullshit. And if she ever had in mind to get you back, and that was a maneuver, she would have known better not to shack up with another guy. She would have known better not to choose a roommate who is a male, because that would create questions in your mind. At least if she was really on the quest of waiting for you to come back and woo her again, she would have had a better sense of understanding that if she moves in with another guy, even as a friend or a roommate, it would create suspicion in your mind, and it would hinder your interest to come after her. She's removing all obstacles for you to actually think that she is with somebody, chooses a guy for a roommate, moves into a man's home to live with the man, creates all these questions in your mind, then expects her you would have seen through the bullshit. No. You haven't done anything wrong. She's full of it, and she's lying. She wants to make her responsibility for having cheated on you, left you, not cheated, but left you and started a relationship, and she wants to make it your fault so she wouldn't feel as bad as she actually knows she should feel inside her heart, because she knows what she's done. She actually moved up, because it doesn't make sense. Listen, if a girl is actually having a problem with the boyfriend and it's not over for her, but she wants to take a maneuver, she will not go and stay with another guy. She will go and stay with her girlfriend. That would mean I'm at the girlfriend, I'm at a safe place, and I'm not moving on, waiting for you to try again, maybe. Or she'll go and stay with her mother, or her father, or her uncle, or her aunt. Not another male. What are you, numb or thick? What's wrong with you? What does she think you are? Don't fall for that. You simply move on and don't pay attention to her. 13 years, and she doesn't know you well enough to think that you would be okay with you if she goes and lives with another guy? In 13, in all her life, the only person that she could actually trust and figure out that she could go and live in a temporary situation would be a colleague, a male. There's no other person in her life that she could do that with. And if she couldn't, then she should have stayed with you and hashed things out. If she ever had something in mind to make things work, why do you have to move out and live with another guy and then expect things to work if you really wanted things to work? Why don't you wait, be where you are and hash things out? That has a better message, better way of sending a message to you that she wants to make things work. Why would I say I don't want you, go away, and then I move on and live with another girl and say, well, I was hoping my girlfriend would come and take me? What the hell is that? Would you do that? No. So she has, and that guy, a girl moves in, vulnerable or whatever, just broke up. Why is he offering her a place to stay? Obviously because he likes her. And she accepted it because she doesn't mind. She actually thinks, oh, okay. The whole calculation was wrong. She's at fault. Absolutely no doubt about it. Even if you were an abusive person, which of course I condemn it, and no one should be abusive to a woman, whether mentally, emotionally, or physically, of any sort. But let's say you were just an asshole, and you were just a person who were not paying attention to her, or whatever the reason was. If she wanted to move out, you still wanted you to have time to think it over and come back, she wouldn't move to another guy's home. It's all bullshit. Don't fall for it. Move on, find another girl. That's what it was. 13 years and she didn't know enough about you to know that this is not how it's going to affect you. It's going to have a counter effect. Not at all. Move on. Don't buy into that. Josiah says, thank you for the meaningful reply. Your passion to help people really separates you from other YouTubers. Sending my wishes for growth in your channel. Much love, Mehran. Thank you very much, Josiah. I appreciate it, but sending your wishes and much love is not enough. You gotta share the videos that you like and then share them on your social media and find ways to put us on the map. But I do appreciate the thought. Thank you. Excalibur says, my famous quote, as Excalibur knows, is who gives a shit. There we go, Mehran. That quote is like a knockout punch to will she remember me? Lol, yes, that's right. And Adi says, thank you, you're welcome. Sid says, male 57 USA, I broke up with my ex about 2 months ago. I remember, Sid. Right before the holidays for the third times in our 5.5 years relationship. She's 48, I'm Iranian, and she's American, who grew up in Africa because of their dad's job. If you remember, the main part of our problem was that she wanted to support her 3 kids. Yes, I do remember. Who are 20-some years old. And I guess one daughter is married, and the boy, I think, has got a job, I think, somehow. I don't remember the rest of it. Until we started to have, her 3 kids who are 20-some years old. Until we started to have financial problems, she wanted to make her kids 100% happy. Yes, that wasn't your job, especially that they're now at legal age and they should be working and making, you guys, if you were wealthy, you could have helped here and there, but too heavy of a price to want to have a relationship with a woman, but you got to take care of her 3 adult kids. That's nonsense. Her kids did not get along with me. And of course, she blamed me for that. Well, of course. To me, she was too codependent on her kids. And I asked her to compromise with me on everything, but she said when it came to her kids and family, there would be no compromise. Well, then go ahead and pay for them yourself. If that's the expectations, I wonder what was, in her pockets, gold? What was it that she was worth that much? She moved out last December. Yes, I remember you said that. She contacted me on her birthday, and we spent that weekend together. We had a great time together. A few days later, she contacted me again and wanted to come over after work. But that night, she stood me up without a call or text to let me know she changed her mind. She called the next morning and said she was too tired after work and went home. She didn't have a really good excuse for not calling or texting to let me know she was not coming over. That was very, very poor choice of her manners, and that is definitely on purpose. So don't be fooled on that. There is no way in hell that when a woman has broken up with you, when she did, and then a few months later, for her birthday, she had a wonderful time with you, and you guys were together, and then she follows it up. Obviously, she's going through a plan of hers that she wants to somehow, I don't know what the exact plan could be, but somehow she wanted to strengthen the connection that was severed. Then she pulls this, not calling. That means she knew that what she's doing. It's not like she forgot, she was too tired and you weren't on her mind. You were on her mind. She was trying to do something, but somehow she decided to become and play a game. So that should be obvious to you, and don't buy into her explanation or reasoning that I was too tired. Yeah, you were too tired, and I understand that because the cell phones are so heavy to lift that when you're tired, you can't really lift them, and then dial them is very difficult, complicated, and that's why, yeah? We all know it's not the case. So she says she still, I see, she still takes, what is it? Good excuse. She didn't have a really good excuse for not calling or texting to let me know she was not coming over. That's right. She still texts me from time to time and wants to see me. She says she still deeply cares about me. I told her, if you care so deeply about somebody, you don't stand them up. Correct. I know her. I'm sure something happened that night that she is not telling me about. I'm a bit confused. It is hard to let her go, since I think we are a very good match. If you may be a good match, but this knowledge of the past that you are a good match is also known to her, if that's the way she thinks, which probably she may think that way. But the knowledge is not the same as action. You can think as much as you want that you're nice to someone, but if you don't back it up with nice actions and proper behavior and attention, it doesn't matter what you think. That's one reason that many women leave their men, or many men leave their women, because the woman or the man says to the partner that, you're so nice, I love you, and all these wonderful things, and they think all good things about her. But in their actions, efforts, there is nothing there to show her what they think in their mind. And in our physical world, it is very important that you actually show what you think, rather than just think and think that it's enough because she knows it telepathically. No. You gotta buy that flower once in a while. You gotta be nice to her, pull the chair for her. And if you keep thinking, well, I thought you're wonderful and you deserve flower. I thought I had in mind that you worth to pull the chair for you. But you never do it. So there is no evidence to back it up. So what she's telling you is pretty much in the same category. I still care about you, I still this and that, but then you don't stand somebody up that you care about. Definitely nonsense. And whatever has come up, I don't care what came up, if she doesn't have the courtesy of at least call and say, doesn't have to tell you what happened, but she can say, Sid, I'm sorry, something came up, I'll tell you later, but I won't be able to come. And that should have been few hours before, or at least an hour before, or at least when it happened. But trying to play that game and expect you to understand is too much expectations on her side. So she says, I'm a bit confused. It is hard to let her go since I think we're a good match. Okay. Even though we had issues in our relationship besides just her kids and family, not sure what to do about her. Also, is it normal to be so emotional at my age, 57 years old? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Men are not made out of rocks. We are all human beings. It's like saying, is it normal that if I stomp my toe to the bed's frame, or if I hit my finger to the window, is it normal at my age it will hurt? Your feelings are still the same. Same as your emotions are still the same. So no matter what age you are, it's between you and an ex-girlfriend and an emotional thing, and we are no different than when we were 25-year-old, if not worse. So some things better, some things worse. So it's perfectly natural, but I think at this time you need to step back and focus on your life. Focus on your life. She should not be able to have a string tied onto you, not letting you to move on or to be free. And if she plays these sort of games that wants to hold you at the same time, whatever else is going on, create these questions in your head, which is not healthy and not helpful to the benefit of the relationship or anything else, for you at least. So what you should do, in my opinion, is just don't answer her for a while. Even if she texts you. Just don't. And if she continuously texts you, say, why you don't answer me? Say, well, I thought we are beyond that sort of behavior. And we have enough respect for each other after this many years that you would not behave with me the way you would do with some Joe out of street. If you make a plan with me and I accept it, then there must be a courtesy for either one of us, even if we don't care to be together ever again. But for the fact that we used to, and you requested it and I accepted it, well, where's your respect for the gentleman that courted you for that many years? When you don't respond to me or don't let me know that you're not coming, I find that odd, disrespectful, discourteous, and not becoming of a woman at your stature and at your age, and considering that we were in a close relationship. So until you figure out your life, just, I wish you well. That's it. Don't say, don't call me or don't text me, or just say, until you figure out your life, I wish you well. Exclamation mark, and that's end of the text. That's what my suggestion would be. All right, Sid, I hope that's something to think about. Fereidun, oh no, before that, I think there is another one that I passed over when I was attending to your questions. There is Majid says, okay, Majid, we already said hi. Majid says, just wanted to ask, do you believe in different frequency? And if so, does your mindset determine, does your mindset determine your frequency aura? Example, what you think being negative versus positive, etc. I'm not so clear, Majid, on the question, but whatever you're trying to say, or whatever one person's way of thinking is, I know perhaps you want to say that there is negative thoughts and positive thoughts both available in the mind, and we sometimes have the propensity towards the negativity, and that is because of our fear, or that is because we're so happy with our lives that we are now afraid of that happiness being taken away. Everything is going well in our life, and we're now creating negative thoughts because we're afraid if we're going to lose all that good things that are happening to our life. And for that, we start thinking negative. These are possibilities, but what I'm trying to tell you is that although both possibilities are there for the mind to have negative tone or positive tone, one of them should be your default setting. The default setting should be the positive setting, because nothing good comes out of a negative one. And the mind is already designed to look for trouble anyhow. So the mechanism of thinking negative, which its purpose is not to be negative, it's to look for trouble, to alert us, saves us from a possible harm. But that mechanism is already there. There is no need for you to focus on it to make it more focused or bring more negativity of thoughts in your mind. So your default setting should be on positive, meaning Let's see what is the positive thing I can find in this. I don't know if that helps you or not. For example, sometimes, let's say I'm doing something in the kitchen and something falls out of my hand or out of the fridge when I'm opening it and breaks. Instead of anything else, my default setting goes, in most cases, such as this, goes to, thank God, it didn't actually jump up to the counter or hit me in the face, or now I have to clean the counter. It's all limited to the floor and I can pick them up. So I cleaned it up. Or if I'm passing by and I'm trying to, in the street, and I'm trying to cross a, intersection, and the light is green for me as a pedestrian, and I'm moving towards the other side of the street, and a car not paying attention that is red actually comes and cuts me off and almost hits me. But it doesn't hit me, and it passes by, and I say, oh, thank God, it didn't hit me. I was careful, I was watching, and that idiot wasn't watching. So I always try to see what was good about that bad happening, to some extent, not everything, but of course, stuff like this. So that would be training and conditioning your mind to have a default setting of looking for positive stuff to bring you more happiness and more assurance, rather than focusing on the negative more than necessary. I'm not sure if I'm answering you correctly, but from that question, this is what I found out. So if you think you can maybe elaborate more if it was, and then send me another question. Veneer says, many thanks for your opinion, Mehran. Many thanks. I will take your advice. Thank you. Now that story is closed after 3 years. Oh, the story. Okay. I'm doing my things. I get along with my life and my business. Wunderbar. Great. Keep it up. The flow of life continues. And look, when the flow of life continues, which we all agree that life is not standing by. There are things happening to it. The weather changes, the sunshine and the rain and the tsunami and the snow and the wind and the other events of life, people doing their things, good things, bad things, flow, breakups, getting to know a new person, new jobs, finances, and everything. Continuously, life flow continues. There's no way that we can agree that life stands still. We all agree on that, right? So if we are living in an environment, in a world, in a time and space in which there are activities, and those activities affect us all, and we are in that mix flowing like a river flow with bunch of things in it, a log, leaves, different things in it that is being taken with the flow of the river and moving along. It's a mix. That river flow being life flow, and the logs and other things in it being us and the events of life and every one of us. We're all mixed in it, and it affects us. Life flow affects all of us. It passes through us, right? So we are all subjected to that flow. Now, if we so happen not to want to be moved, which one do you think wins? Us, stop the life from moving, or life crushing the hell out of us because we're rigid, we don't want to move? Oh, let me put it a different way. Imagine life being a buggy. In the Old West, there were buggies and the horses were pulling it. I forgot the word. Anyhow. So, and then this buggy is linked or connected to strong horses, bunch of horses, or one horse, let's say. One horse is connected to a horse. That horse is us, every one of us, individual. right? That horse that is connected to this buggy by chain, not by lumber, not by logs, by chain. The horse is connected to this buggy, pulling the buggy by chains, right? And the horse is us, and the buggy is life. And we are running. We're going and running through our life and dealing with things, negotiating things. And this road that we're running on, the buggy, the life, is coming right behind us because we are pulling it with this chain. So what happens if we see obstacles? We have to jump. And then we see another obstacle. We have to jump. What happens if we see an obstacle where we don't jump? We stop. The horse, us, we stop. Because we think, oh, you know, I got to stop. I don't want to go on. I can't go on. I'm afraid of, or whatever. What's going to happen? Well, the buggy is connected to us with chain. The buggy is not going to stop. The buggy is going to crush our back. So in life, while the life is a continuous movement, you decide to stop in front of it, life is not going to stop for you because you stopped. It's going to crush you on your back. So what I'm trying to say is you move on. You continue the movement. You create opportunities for yourself. Don't look back. Don't sit around. Don't think that your life depended on the mercy of life itself, that it will be kind to you. No, if you're not moving along, creating opportunities, opening paths, and going as properly speeded as you can, life is not going to have a mercy. It's going to run over you. So, part of that is these relationships. If there is a breakup, and she turns out to create these things in your heads, you need to speed up in your life. Find paths, open up, find opportunities, move on, create more confidence in yourself by accomplishing more things that you want to accomplish in your life. Make yourself more equipped to deal with things and challenges could come in your way, and continue moving. So life will always be one or two steps behind you. Can't catch up. That takes some planning and foresight, and I'm sure you're all capable of doing it. Now, let's see. Femur. Okay. First time here, Femur, I believe. There are 22 of us, guys. I better see 22 likes on this. Because, you know, after all, my tea is cold now, and there's nobody to bring me tea, so at least put the like in there. You know, I'm going through a hardship to do this, so. Okay, Femur says, hi Mehran, I just wanted to chime in and give you my support. I love your videos and use them to battle my depression. I'm a 58-year-old male from USA. Good luck with your channel. I thank you very much. I appreciate your love, and we all love you too, and we are there for you as well. And hopefully the videos are of some kind of help to make things a little bit more tolerable for you with the challenge that you're going through. And I hope that you have had the chance to have a visit with your doctor and make sure that your blood test is good and shiny and balanced, and help them to be able to maybe see if there is any chemical imbalance in there for the that causes you depression. And if you've done all that and you're clear, well, the channel is the best place, I guess, to get some hints here and there and motivate yourself for some maybe exercise and some other things now that you've cleared that with your doctors and so on. So I appreciate the love, and I thank you for your kind words, and I'm glad that the channel is helpful to you in some way. Sid, no, we talked about that. Excalibur says, I'm drinking a magic potion here, Mehran. Lemon and honey, and enjoying the session. Ah, wunderbar, lemon and honey. I hope you have hot water in there mixed too, otherwise it'll be a little bit. Beautiful evening. I realize enjoying the session sounds like I'm in a happy ending message shop, a massage shop. No. It meant what it meant, that you're having a good time, relaxing, and listening to the channel. Good. But pour some hot water on that mix as well. Sid, okay, no, we did all that. Okay, we did all that. We did all Sids. Okay, now we go to Feridun Salami. Feridun, is that your last name actually, Salami, or is it a nickname you have chosen? Feridun says, Salam, male 22, Norway. Oh, yes, you're in Norway. What a beautiful place you are at. Norway, a very advanced country. I think lots of oil they have as well, oil and gas. And lots of good things I've heard about Norway. I always wanted to visit Norway. Yesterday, he says, my ex called me after I had broken up with her. I don't know if you remember, I asked for guidance of you last time. So she added me on Snapchat again, and we small talk. Is it a trap? Feridun, I don't remember exactly what the scenario was. She's Norwegian. I believe she broke up with you, or you broke up with her. I'm not sure. I don't remember the reasoning. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit? I don't remember. I remember I've talked to you before, and I remember I made comments, I'm sure, but I don't remember how the story went and what I said to follow it up. I would be welcoming if you would go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, and make a Skype appointment, and we can explore that in detail and one-on-one, and then I would be up to date with the events. But I will try to remember here, which fails me. And he continues, says, what should I do? I'm not sure I have any feelings for her. Although she has a boyfriend now, after a breakup, rebound, why she called me and wanted to ask how I am doing? It's hard for me to say because I don't know. It could be because she's now feeling okay and confident and wants to talk to you to possibly tell you that she's okay, she doesn't care. At one point that will come up, maybe. Or she wants to create a little bit of a feeling in you and then reject you just to kind of diss you to feel good about herself, the fact that you told her you don't want her. That could be one scenario, but I could be wrong because I don't know. Maybe she's with that guy and she feels she misses you because you were the one who broke up with her, so she feels rejected and she wants to conquer it back to make herself feel good, so she's actually making a genuine effort. But eventually, because she's already with that boyfriend, she knows in her heart that even if she gets back to you, you will still eventually break up with her again because you've done it once and you rejected, you don't find her qualified. So therefore, for that reason, she wouldn't want to miss that opportunity that she has, the boyfriend that she has now. So she may actually break up with you if you became interested in her again, because she wouldn't be able to let go the reality, which is that boyfriend, for a pie in the sky, which is a momentary, maybe a short-lived relationship with you again. So either way, I think you should stick to your guns, and the reason that you had to break up with her still exists. Just because she's calling you back doesn't mean she's now qualified and doesn't have the incompatibilities that you felt she had with you when you broke up with her. So I'm thinking just be cordial and move on. Find another girlfriend. because that's why you broke up with her, because she wasn't, you didn't have enough compatibility with her. So move on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what she does. You focus on what you need to be doing. Just, if she texts you, you have time, you answer. But being a guy, you may at some time feel that you're lonely, or it would be good if she was there because, I don't know, intimacy, sex or something, and you would forget why you broke up with her. And then you will give in to that, and you make her confused and make yourself confused, and again you have to go through the same thing that you did before and bring yourself to breaking up with her. That's just redundancy. Just stay true to yourself, and so what, you don't have sex for a while, find another girlfriend if that's your motivation, and then deal with it correctly. That's fair to her and cordial, respectful to her. At least she was your girlfriend at one time. You don't want to use her just because you feel lonely and just because she's interested. Just because if somebody is interested in you, that doesn't give you a carte blanche to use her, or vice versa. If a guy is interested in a girl, it doesn't give permission to the girl to use the guy. Same thing the other way around here. She seems to be interested in you. You make it clear for her by being polite and kind, cordial, but make it clear indirectly that there's no relationship here for her. So she would have a clear mind in what she's doing for her life, and she wouldn't be played with. That's a way of a gentleman's behavior, a real man's behavior, to be able to protect her even from his own self desires, and not justifying it that, oh, because it's me, then it's okay to use her. No, you're not into her. Or at least make sure you tell her that, look, I'm not into you. We're not going to have a relationship. I want you to know that I don't want to mislead you. Now, if you want to have sex, okay, we'll have sex. At least that would be a clear conscience that way. Don't play with her. She's vulnerable now. If she likes you, she's vulnerable. And don't ever take advantage from a vulnerable person. That's what I think. Now, Adam says, thank you for the logical reply, Mehran. You're the man. Well, my pleasure, Adam. Glad that you enjoyed it. Christina VC says, hi, Mehran. Female, 25 from New York. Hello, Big Apple. How are you? I hear it's very cold on the east side. We're just getting a bit of a flurry today. We don't have it anymore. That was it. Last night was cold, and there was a hoopla. There's going to be snow. There was a little snow, but that's it. No more snow. So she says, female, 25 from New York. Why is it so hard to find psychological security on your own, especially after a breakup? Well, psychological security is never attainable. That's why it's called elusive psychological security. It's an illusory search. There never will be psychological security. But we strive for it, we hope for it, and we get close to it, and that's good enough. So I take it that's probably what you mean. And on that note, I would like to add that it's because when you break up, there's so many fragments of your psyche that is at work and imbalanced. Your ego is not fluffed and is affected. It's in turmoil, is running around trying to find a way to bring balance to itself. Your desire for pleasure is not being met. Your desire for having that relationship that you wanted, but it broke up, is not fulfilled. Your desire for that relationship is not fulfilled. Your fears of what about if I don't find someone just as nice, or someone that would meet my qualifications, my expectations, is going to play with your feelings and bring that instability in that elusive psychological security that you're seeking. And of course, the negative thoughts come into the picture. Oh, I gotta do all this again. I gotta find out who the guy is, and I gotta let him know who I am, and all these things come to your mind. So all of that brings instability, because your whole expectations of life has been stability. You see, most of us think or expect life is like a surface that we walk on, and it's a solid surface. That's why we expect a proper bounce back. Like when you put your first foot on a solid paved road, you expect a certain reaction that would give you opportunity for keep your balance and know there's a solid ground under your feet, so the next step will also follow, and then you keep your balance on that foot, and the next step would follow, and you expect a certain solid reaction under your feet as you take your steps. So you expect that kind of a terrain that you're walking on, that kind of a road. And that's why you get surprised, because often there is not the expectations that you had that is coming back to you from the effort that you made, the step that you made. Suddenly you will see there's a hole there. It wasn't paved, it wasn't smooth, there was actually a deep hole. You fell into it. There are pots and puddles, and it's not what you expected. So your expectations makes it difficult for you to find that elusive psychological security, even at certain level. But if you change your expectations from walking on a solid paved road to walking or being in a boat on an ocean surface, then the boat is constantly up, and you expect it up and down. You think it's part of natural expectations. So when you're actually going up and down, you're not surprised, you're not facing with an unexpected surface or event. Therefore, your psychological security is more attainable within the negotiation of the pathway, rather than expecting it to be perfectly smooth before I call it psychological security, before I call it smooth sailing, before I call it successful journey. No, you expect this journey to have up and down because you're on the ocean and you can see the ocean water is wavy. So your journey is with this in mind, that is going to be up and down. So when it is up and down, it wouldn't affect you too much. You will still be able to find that relaxation or that elusive psychological security on that up and down surface of the ocean as you travel. But if you thought this surface will always be solid and paved, then every time there's a pothole or some hole that you can't put your foot right straight and keep your balance for the next step, you'll always be shocked and say, why is it so hard to find stability, which translates to that psychological security. So you need to deal with your ego. You need to deal with your desire for pleasure and desire for relationship. You need to deal with your negative thoughts, and you need to deal with the fear of not being able to actually find what you're looking for. If you deal with these fragments of your psyche, then naturally you have a better chance to feel more confident and more stable inside. And that would be closer to that elusive psychological security that we talk about. But I bet you from the word psychological security, you meant something else. You just meant assurance. Either way, I think that might be something helpful. Tambi says, hi Mehran. Hello Tambi. Adam says, Mehran, do you believe we are in a spiritual battle between good and evil, good and Satan, with our thoughts? Can we trust our thoughts? I have more peace in myself when I let a negative thought pass through me. Should we hold every thought in captivity? Is ego Satan? Well, you lost me at the second part of your question. Up to, can we trust our thoughts? I'm going to answer that. And when you say, I have more peace in myself when I let negative thoughts pass through me, I wonder what you mean by that. Do you mean when you not let negative thought affect you, when you not focus on negative thoughts? Is that what you mean? What do you mean by pass through you? Does it mean you don't recognize them, or you don't pay attention to them, or you deal with them, or you know what? Okay, that is maybe a part that you can't explain a little bit more, just a little bit more on that, so I can. And then you say, should we hold every thought in captivity? So the difference between negative thoughts passing through you and negative thoughts holding it in captivity, I want to understand what you mean by that. What do you mean by hold every thought in captivity? What do you mean by that? And what do you mean by saying when I have a better time when negative thoughts pass through me? And then, is ego Satan? So you answer me that. In the meantime, I'm going to answer your first part of the question. Can we trust our thoughts? No. Not always. Thoughts are stupid. Thought does not have necessarily credibility. Thought is just that. Thought. You got to decide if that thought deserves attention, credibility, or trust. Based on what? Based on information, knowledge. Knowledge is always limited, so the thought is also limited and cannot be considered as absolute. Thought always wants to, most often, thought wants to replace actuality. That's why thought is one reason that you're not connected to the actuality of the now. Thought is a gateway to your to be in a la-la land and to lose that psychological security that we are pursuing. You see, mind is looking for security. Mind finds its security through order. Order is put together, comes about through certain mechanical processes. Things that you do, things that is norm of your life. You get up, you do this, you have your breakfast, you go out, take the bus, you go to your job, you meet certain people, you belong to certain syndicates or certain clubs or certain groups. You create certain psychological security for yourself in belonging to those groups. You go to certain places, certain parties, certain sports activities, certain behavior, yourself or with your partner. All these things that you do are mechanical processes. These mechanical processes create a certain order. Through that order, which is how you do your things, and that balance of how things are is created in your mind, in your life, That order is what gives your mind security. And when you have that security created, you have a memory of it, and your thoughts constantly want to go into that memory, think about these things that gives you order. But because of that interest to be in the memory, to feel you have an order, when especially your life is into a little bit of chaos or disorder because you just broke up or something like that, then that takes you away from the actuality of life, of the present moment, of the now, and doesn't allow you to interact with the life as it's happening. Instead, you're in the memory looking for that order to feel safe in your mind, which means the living that you call living is actually in the death of the past. So thought itself is one way, is a cause of you not being able to interact with the real life, because you prefer to use your thoughts to create that illusory psychological security that resides in your memory because of when you were with your girlfriend, everything was hunky-dory and you felt safe, or whatever time of your life was. If it wasn't a relationship, there was a time that you had order, so you keep going in there to find that order, to bring security to your mind, but that denies you and defies you from actually interacting with the actuality of life. So thought by nature or by design or by default is trying to deny you from interaction with the reality of life, which means you can't trust thought in all cases, in all events. Thoughts are very good for many things, but thoughts are also like the sand lifts off in the desert because there is a wind. It doesn't mean there's a purpose to them. They're just there. And they cloud the whole thing for you to see through the actual road. So when thoughts are billions of different kind of thoughts can lift off, if you can't understand that all these thoughts, most of them don't deserve your attention, they're just nonsense, bullshit, and diss them, just pay no attention to them. If you don't think that way, they will occupy your mind and take you away from the actuality of real life, that what you should pay attention to. Thoughts are like the sandstorm in the desert. The wind comes, they lift off. And they come from everywhere. You didn't really even call for them. You didn't even invite them. Thoughts are there. Either comes from the collective consciousness of the universe, or it's created because of all the influences that the things that you've been exposed to. They're just there. You didn't command them. You didn't invite them. But they distract you. So you should know that not all thoughts have credibility. And most thoughts are stupid. They got to be taught. And you got to know the quality of thoughts. Not just because it happens in your head and you have confidence in yourself and the head is part of you and the thought is happening in your head. Therefore, it must have credibility because you think you have credibility and your head is part of you and the thought created in your head. So the thought must also mean righteous, must be credible. No. Is that what you think about your shit? It's part of you. You have credibility and your poop came out of you. So is the poop now something credible, something useful, something good that you should focus on? No. It's an exhaust of the physical, biological use of things. In your biology has used energy, used things, turn them into energy, and then the refuse of it is being put out. But it came out of you, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Thought the same. Is part of a refuse of a material process of thinking that is happening in the brain. That just like our biological part that has a refuse, gets rid of it, mind also has refuse because of its process of material process. And those refuse are garbage thoughts. So not every thought is worth your attention. Not every thought is credible just because it's there. Like every mechanical machine, everything that exists in this world, everything that is alive in this world has a refuse. Takes in something, turns them into energy, and then gets rid of the stuff that its refuse cannot use. The mind also is part of our entity. We're mind and body. Body has its refuse. Mind also has its functions, and therefore it has a mechanism, does something, and that also creates refuse, like the shit. But we don't seem to understand that. We accept the fact that we got to get up, wash our face, and go sit on the toilet and get rid of the business. But we don't seem to understand that also the mind, the other part of our entity, to complete mind and body existence of ours, we don't understand that also this creates shit. And that shit are the negative thoughts, are the thoughts that we don't need. They're all there. And we try to attend to them and believe them and trust them and think they mean something. I should follow it. And we go nuts. And often we go a little bit more than nuts. So I hope it's something for you to think about, and a certain kind of a discussion that could be of some interest to you. Now, let me go on to other questions here. Maybe because that would be a long question, maybe I just answer that part and the other parts maybe some other time, because there's so many other questions here that perhaps I should get to as well. Adam, and Tia Tate says, why is salary a red flag? Maybe she wants to know if you can provide for family. Are we? Did you have another question here? Oh yeah, I guess I missed that one. Tia says, very important about the action. Action speaks louder than words. Very true. Okay. Have I missed another part of your question here somewhere? No, that was it. Okay. It says, why is salary a red flag? Maybe she wants to know you. I don't understand. That question is, I guess I'm reading it from middle. Nikki says, hi, Mehran. Hello, Nikki. Sid says, you're absolutely right, Mehran. I need to pick up the pieces and move on. Thank you, sir, for being such a kind and caring human being. I will schedule a private session as soon as I get my finances together. As the Texans say, that's where the cowboy rides away. Okay. Okay. All right. No problem. I'll wait for that day. But for you, it'll be doubled because you've already used a couple of hours of sessions anyhow. So your session will be very expensive. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Delighted to be of some help. All right. Now, Sabine Kunkal. That's the first time I see this name. Oh, was there another question here, or am I seeing it from the middle? Because I don't think that's the beginning of a question, Sabine. It says, serious. I'm not handling it at all. I'm in severe emotional pain. I want to call him so badly. Can you help? Please, please. Well, I don't know anything about this situation to say anything. And Sabina, as much as I would like to help, but this is a very closed question. And at the live talks, we can't really get deep into a particular situation, I suggest to you go on my site, mind.that-seeks-truth.com, click on Talk to Me for consultation, make an appointment for 1 hour, and I will give you another hour complimentary. So you'll have 2 hours, and we'll have enough time to discuss it one-on-one and see what's concerning you and get to the nitty-gritty of it and explore it together. Otherwise, if you generally want help, the channel has over 1,300 videos that can help you to understand why you're going through what you're going through, why you're feeling the way you feel, and how to understand yourself better and then be able to move on after a breakup. Otherwise, you know, that is the part that is there for you to search any feelings that you have. Search it on my search engine of the channel, and it'll give you videos on that topic. Or look at the playlists, and it will tell you which one is appropriate for you according to how you feel to watch them. There are a bunch of them in each playlist. Otherwise, make the appointment on one-on-one, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it and explore it together. Tiara, again, the first time, I believe, no? So I hope you guys have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed and you're on this live talk, please do subscribe. So every time I have a new upload, new video, or new questions answered, or a live talk coming up, you will be notified by having clicked that bell if you're subscribed. So please do subscribe. Takes a moment. Click on the subscribe. We need to have exposure and to be able to increase our subscriptions. So it will give me more opportunity and justification to spend more time on this channel and what we want to achieve here. And definitely make sure you click on like. So the like button helps us to be recognized by the YouTube algorithm, and I would appreciate that. Tiara says, hey you yourself. Yeah. And says, I don't know if it's a he or she, because our protocol here is let me know if it's male or female, how old you are, and where you're tuning in from. That's our 3 codes. M, like 23 or whatever the age is, and the city you come from. So please do that if you will. Tiara. And he says, or she says, you may not remember me, but you helped me last year, and I want to thank you for it. This is Tiara, who passed her social work license test. Oh, yes, I remember Tiara now. I think we had a Skype conversation. Social work license test in the middle of the breakup. You did pass it. Good for you. Wunderbar. Excellent. So, yes. Good news. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that. And we have, okay, Excalibur says, haha, he's joking. Good to see you, Tambi. Oh, I see you guys. Feridun Salami says, I broke up with her. She's 19. Okay. Was I looking for that? Feridun? What should I do? I'm not sure how many feelings for her. Oh, I see. Yeah, I discussed that already, I guess. Okay. Excalibur says, of course, Mehran, no hot water means lemon and honey. It will take 2 years to reach my stomach. That's right. That's for sure. Nasro says, Nasro 21, New Jersey. Hello, Nasro. Nasro says, Mehran, we really love you so much because of you more focused in my life, in my education, more than ever before, because I'm so happy. Thank you so much. You're quite welcome, Nasro. Very sweet words, kind words. I appreciate that, and I'm delighted that you're enjoying the channel and it helps you to be more focused on your life and accomplish your important tasks, which at the moment seems to be education, and I'm delighted that you're attending to it so diligently. Kudos to you, dear Nasro. Lottie says, female 40 UK, and thanks for that. Just listening as had migraines and always after each second and breathing with strong pain seems to see life with fresh, grateful eyes. Thanks, Mehran, for helpful talk and advice. My pleasure, Lottie. I hope you feel better on your headache. Of course, you know meditation does help, and I have meditation, old meditation tapes I made on this channel. I think it's just called Concentration Meditation, Mind and Body Coordination. It's the name of the thing. I have few of them on this channel. Funny enough, when I had that done, I went to a recording studio here in Vancouver on the Plaza of Nation. At the time, it was the site of the expo, and they had a studio that they charged me for the room, and they charged me for the Japanese koto music that they would put on my production. So I paid $700 for it all, and then when I uploaded, eventually years later, uploaded on YouTube, some company put a claim on the music of the koto. I said, well, for God's sake, I paid for it. that place charged me in their receipt as licensing fee for the music. But who can prove it now? So there is an advertisement on that video that I have, which actually is not my purpose to have an advertisement on it. But I have no control on it. So left it the way it is. Wafa says, hello, hello, Wafa. Joe. Joe, it's the first time. Joe says, I had a wake moment today and emailed my ex. Okay. Guys, please, if you haven't clicked on the like, please do click on the like. These are important for our channel. I will help us to be a little bit more recognized by YouTube, even though it's only 23 of us, but still everyone counts. And make sure, if you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button. It takes a second, and then it will inform you every time we have a new upload, which we have it every day, and at the same time, every time we have an event like the live talks. So click on the bell. Click on the subscribe button and the bell, and then we're all set to go. And I appreciate that. David B says, hey, Mehran, age 23, Dallas, Texas, looking like I'm late again. Oh, yeah, you sure are. You are 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 27, 28, 29, 30 seconds late, and continuing. So, T. Tate says, thanks for sharing the information about thoughts. You're welcome. Cincinnati says, female 29, Cincinnati, Ohio. All right. Tambi says, Mehran, skip my question and big part of discussion. Oh, really? Let me go back then. Let me just see what Laura says here. What do you think about being with an older man who is divorced and has a son? Okay, I'll get back to you right away. We've discussed that already, Laura, in another video. Actually, the title of the video is, what do you think? Something about older age difference or something like that. But I'll see if I can discuss it with you here. If you elaborate a little bit more about the situation. And I go and look for Tambi's question. It says, Mehran, skip my question, all right? Because you've been talking to other people, and when I see a little @ sign, I think it's not mine, it's not to me. So I might have passed by thinking there was one there without it, and I might have thought that you're continuing with the others, so I passed by it. You see, it says, see, all of them are addressed to somebody else. So there it is. Tambi Tire says, Dear Mehran, is it a bad marital sign when your girlfriend asks how much is your salary? Oh yeah. If you just met her and she asks you, say, my salary is not enough to pay for this date, and get up and leave. If of course, you know, it's being funny, but not necessarily in that way. But that could be the last time that you date her, because she's not really, she's not at the right time of the relationship to ask such thing. But if she's your girlfriend for, like, I don't know, a year, not even sooner, not even 6 months, and she's already working herself and shown that you guys have a cordial relationship and a serious relationship, then that's all right. You guys can disclose that to each other. But right off the bat, she asks that, and that's kind of silly. And Tambi says, if it is a bad sign, I want to know why. Yeah, because it's none of her business. Because she's trying to make a judgment on your qualification based on your pocket, rather than who you are, what kind of a person you are, how you treat her, how you interact with her. And that is she going to be choosing you as the boyfriend or partner, or your pocket, or your money, or your possessions? It's no different than you ask the same thing from her, saying, you know, how wealthy is your family? Just imagine you ask a girl on a date out of the blue, in your conversation, and you're not really, you know, serious girlfriend, boyfriend. How wealthy is your family? None of your goddamn business. What does that have to do with who I am, how I treat you? She would think, right? So that's the basis of that. But at certain time in the relationship, that's okay to ask. And she wants to know how much money you make, and she tells you how much money she makes, and you're focusing on building something, not necessarily at the outset of the relationship or the beginning of it. So that should be all right. All right, now let's go to Laura. Well, Laura, I need a more specific question on that, points on that. What do you think about being with an older man who is divorced and has a son? Well, I don't know how old you are, how old he is. What is an older man definition to you? A year is older, 10 years is older, 20 years is now getting there, and 30 years and so on. And all depends on how old you are as well. And if I don't know how old you are and how old that man is, I won't be able to be, because not every circumstance is the same. You know, if you're like 30 years old and he's 50, that can work. If you're 20 and he's 50, it'll never work. So things like that. Even if you're 20 and he's, you know, 38, 40, still not going to have a good chance to work. There are always anomalies and exceptions, but in general. Excalibur says, Mehran, you said something a long time ago that is really a very important piece of information to the people who ask you about dealing with breakups. You said, why don't you switch your attention to the previous breakup, which at the time hurt the same as the current breakup, and look at you now, you don't even think about it now. Yes, I remember that, correct? What makes you think this one will be different? You also thought the previous girl was different and look at you now. Also, you said you forgot to reply to emails, and 1 year later you finally did. Yeah, I remember that. And the people don't even remember why they emailed you. Lol. Yes. I think it's very useful to say these points more frequently. Yeah, sure, I can. In fact, I have a video on that story that I shared that. I should find that. It's true. It's true. Perhaps we'll leave that for another time. There would be lots of people who are concerned about moving on and so on, and that would be something to bring to their attention, which you already did. So it's good for this time, I guess. But yes, that's good. I should remember that and bring that up when it comes to be part of the question. So T-Tat says, Tammy wants to know if it is a bad marital sign if a GF asks about yourself. Oh yeah, I did answer that, I believe. Tammy says she was my fiancée after 6 months of a relationship. Yeah. It's okay. It's not a problem after 6 months of relationship and being already engaged to you. But I would think that question would be more appropriate if she was not engaged to you before she gets engaged to you. She should have asked it, not after. But nevertheless, yeah, she was engaged to you, 6 months already into it, and she asked you how much is your salary. I find that something that it should have come up in your conversation with her voluntarily, and I don't think it was, in that context, it wasn't out of line. She was going to marry you. Maybe that's why she ran away, huh? Maybe you weren't making enough money. Then that tells you about her. And then you just, lucked out, I guess. Good that she asked. But generally, it's not a question that you would expect someone to ask in the first 6 months of a relationship. Unless the topic of the discussion and the atmosphere was nothing serious. You guys were, having tea or enjoying yourselves and talking about life, and she's curious to say, how much do you make? And, it's all right. No problem there. I don't think. In that context, it wouldn't be a problem. Just, she's building something, you guys are living together or, planning to get married, and she asked that, that's okay. It's never a big deal in some traditions. Like I remember how I grew up, I had no problem with anybody telling anybody how much I was making or not making, because I didn't think of money would be what sets people apart or what makes them this way or that way, good or bad. Or I always thought what makes a person is their manners and their mentality and the way they treat others and so on. So for me, it was not a question, not a concern at all. But when I was talking to a friend of mine in Canada a long time ago, we were all trainees in a training course sent by our company to be trained for that particular computer programming or salesmanship or whatever the course was. From all around Canada, we were there, and there were a discussion that we were at the break, I guess, and with one of the guys, and I said, because everybody was saying that I sold this to that account, I sold that to that account, oh, that had a big commission, oh, good. So I said something like, how much was the commission? And my friend, or so-called, I don't know who it was. if it was a friend or something, or it's supposed to be secret. And of course, I have learned that, yeah, it's supposed to be guarded. Nobody should know how much money you make. I guess it's something between you and, I don't know, whatever the reason is. I still think it's, if you're making lots of money, you don't want to tell people because it's kind of being pretentious or kind of boasting about it. But if you're not making much money, you may feel, you know, embarrassed, but you shouldn't. Either way, to me, it didn't make, but I guess it is not important to talk about how much money you make to strangers or to people that you don't know well or they're not close enough. But if they're close, it's all right. It's all right. I think it's all right. So, Laura says, I'm 25 and he's 42. Aha. Depends on what your culture is, what your background is, what stage of life he's. Why do you think at 25 you would actually be easy way of connecting with the 42-year-old? 42-year-old expects a certain different kind of things, and because of your age, you will always be considered as the younger of the two, and you may have a little bit of a identity problem there in the way of having your suggestions or comments be taken seriously, because you always think you're much younger. You're 25, he's 42, so you'll always think that he must be right. And even if you're right, he might rely on the fact that, oh no, you're 25 and I'm older, so you got to listen to me. I don't know, but that could have something to do with it. You will not find your place, because if you're like 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years difference, okay. But this is like, what, 17 years difference? A little bit going on the high side for a normal, you know, interaction, discussions, and not being overwhelmed by the age difference that would create a certain kind of a position for one and lack of it on the other one. And at the same time, at age 25, there are lots of things you want to do you haven't done, and you think you may be missing the chance, and you may actually leave him after a few years, because in 10 years you're 35, he's 50. No, he's 52 or 3. And you still feel you may be going through a certain crisis at that age, and you want to be rebellion a little bit, and you feel like, oh, well, there are things you want to do, and he's at that age, a different age, may not work. But then again, I know of people who have had more of a age difference, and they made it work as long as it took. So it's really up to your character and what you expect, why you're going into that kind of a situation or relationship, and what is the motivation of yours to be there with a man who is at that age and already has a son. Your role would be probably taking care of the son. I don't know how old is the son. And he's being an older man, and you may always be at his mercy of his discretion of this and that. I don't know. Not sure how it's going to be. Or maybe you guys are so close in hitting it off perfectly well, and you're willing to take care of the, you know, responsibilities of that little family, him and his son, and be the kind of wife that you want to be, or be the kind of partner that you want to be. And it depends on what his motivation is to be with you. Is he going to be serious, or later on he's going to think you're not mature enough, or even if you are, could use that excuse? I don't know. There are lots of things I don't know, so I can't be really more helpful than that, than other than if it was, you know, a more direct, one-on-one discussion that we could explore it further and deeply. Excalibur says, and to finish on a humorous mode, check this out. A man goes to a $10 hooker and contracts crabs. When he goes back to complain, the hooker laughs and says, "What do you expect for $10?" Laughs. I didn't get it. Yes, I know what crab is sexually transmitted disease. Yes. It sounds like yes. Yeah, okay. It wasn't delivering it. No, this one, it wasn't really like but you know, the effort is what it counts, right? Cincy Tiara says, I'm still having a difficult time, not as rough as last year, but still struggling a bit. I'm not comparing myself anymore to her new partner, but I miss my ex a bit, and at time I still think of her. Yeah, that's normal, but look, there are other girlfriends you can have. So come to terms with it, that this is a normal. Now, if you didn't feel anything, that would be abnormal. So the fact that you feel something, because what you're feeling is not about her today, what she's doing, that she has another girlfriend or whatnot. What you're feeling and missing, the little bit that you say, it's the memory of her when you guys were committed and were together. That's the one you're missing, not the one that is not with you. You're not missing the one that is with another girl, with another partner. You're missing the one that had not left you yet and was with you. That's the memory that causes you to miss, not the actuality of what she's, where she is, and who she is, or how she is. So if you understand that, then you tell yourself, well, that's a memory, that's a pleasant memory, I'm missing that, but that doesn't exist anymore because that girl is changed, is this girl, and I don't want this girl. So what I'm missing is not her, so I don't have any problem with really her. What I'm missing is the memory of her when we were together, and that girl doesn't exist now anymore. She's changed because she broke up with me. So if you think of that, then you'll enjoy that memory. Say, yeah, that was good. So maybe, you know, my next relationship would also bring such pleasantry to me again. That's it. But don't try to diss it or deny it or think that it's bad. No, it's a good memory, but of the person that no longer exists, because I was part of the memory of when you guys were together, and you guys are not together, so she's not the one that you're actually missing that memory of. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get here. And Tiara says, I think I won't find anyone who is a better fit than her. How can readjust my mindset? How can you say that? How can you say that the woman, the girlfriend that didn't want to be with you or broke up with you, you can't find someone better? How can you see the woman who didn't want to be with you, broke up with you, is better than the ones that you will get to know later on and want to be with you? How could someone who doesn't want to be with you and is not with you, broke up with you, could ever be better than the ones that you would actually have and be in a relationship with? This one part should be enough for you to realize that definitely you will find better. Why? Because the better is in the characteristics of the person, and that includes her wanting to be with you. Better is not in characteristics and qualification of someone who doesn't want to be with you. How could that be better? It's like saying that food that I can have actually is better than any other food that I can have. The food that you can have counts only. That's the one that give you nutritions, and then you enjoy it, and the taste of it, you experience it, and you have interaction. The food that you can have, or it's not available, what good could it have to you? Remember, if this wheel doesn't turn for me, I don't care if it turns at all. So the one that you can't have or doesn't want to be, or it's not yours, can never be better than the one that you do have and want to be yours. Because one criteria to have a good relationship is with someone who wants to be with you. And that is part of being the better choice than the one who doesn't want to be with you and you can't have any interaction with and you can't benefit from that relationship. So if you think it this way, then you'll say, well, okay, she was this way, but then she's not that way now, because if she was the same as before, she would still be with me. But if she's not, then she's not the one that I'm actually missing. And what I'm missing is a memory of her when we were together. And that's fine. I enjoy that. But that never can be a sign, the one that is no longer with me, that she will be better than the ones that I will meet later. Maybe when you guys were together and it was good, maybe with somebody else it will not be the same as that memory when you guys were together. But it will still be better because this one is a memory and that one is an actuality. And compared to this one, definitely the one that is not with you can never be better than the ones that you will have a relationship with. So I hope that would be something for you to ponder on. Excalibur giving us jokes here. Let me read it first, see if it's PG-13. That was good. All right, I'm going to read this one. A blonde told her doctor that she was really worried because every part of her body hurts. The doctor looked concerned and said, "Show me where." The blonde touched her own arm and screamed, "Ouch!" Then she touched her leg and screamed, "Ouch!" She touched her nose and cried, "Ouch!" She looked at her doctor and said, "See, it hurts everywhere." The doctor laughed and said, "Don't worry, it's not serious. You've just got a broken index finger." That's the kind of joke that we can actually read here. And Tammy says, Mehran, parents have been married for 32 years. My mom still doesn't know how much my dad makes. Yeah, that's normal in that neck of the wood. That's the way it is, because moms and women in that neck of the wood, especially in the older times, they were not concerned about how much the husband was making. It was all about, we're all in it together, and whatever he makes, we will, do with. And it was all about sacrifice, unselfishness, and cohesiveness. And the money was not the factor in as big a factor as it is now. They were loyal to each other, not to the provisions or what they had or they didn't. Life in the world was different then. I find it kind of insulting when a pre-wife asks about money. Yes, I understand where you're coming from. It makes me feel like she don't trust me. Yeah, I hear you. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it is, for today's standard, is okay. But it is still abnormal, uncalled for, unwarranted, unless it is a It is not a direct question, like you guys are having fun chatting, sitting together and talking about life and planning on buying this and buying this, and then you ask her or she asks you, by the way, how much money do we have together? I make this much. How much do you make? That context is okay. But if she's actually prying and trying to kind of qualify you based on what she has in mind, what kind of comfort she has, it's like she's trying to, deal with the highest bidder for that, what she's willing to participate in. So to me, that I understand where you're coming from. That's not inappropriate. That's inappropriate in pretty much all cases. Again, depending on the culture, though. Not as much as here, because here in most Western countries, it is a little, although most women or most people anywhere, they still consider finances very important. And whether it's a Middle Eastern woman, Indian woman, Iranian woman, or Arab woman, or whatever their nationalities in that neck of the wood, Asia, they may not mention it, but they still are concerned just as much as the Western woman, who may actually come out and ask you, how much money do you make? Which is, again, totally inappropriate, because men don't ask women how much money you make, because they show that the respect and interest is in that person, not what she has, even though it might be important, but they don't dare to ask it. But women find it like as if it's okay to ask, because, and if they do, in a wrong context, again, certain context is okay, when you've been together long enough and you're planning on what to buy, where to go, what house, planning for the future, then you ask each other how much money you make. But other than that, in most other contexts is not appropriate. So, but usually in that neck of the wood, they don't ask it. And I can understand that, how it could grab you. So it says, it makes me feel like she doesn't trust me. Despite that, I told her how much I make, but I didn't like it because I felt that the question wasn't innocent. Not to mention, I was sending her money monthly because she was quitting her job. Oh yeah, that's always a mistake. When you start paying for your girlfriend, and that's the only source of her income, the relationship could become a little bit lopsided. Not that it's something bad you're doing. You're careful, you're caring, and you want to help her, and that's good. But she may actually start thinking that, oh, look how important I am, that he keeps paying for me, and that may have a reverse effect on her appreciation towards you, because it kind of makes her feel like, oh, I'm much sought after by him, so therefore maybe he's not good enough. If he's willing to pay every month, that means he's desperate, or he really loves me and all that. That could have a negative connotation on her mind, if they're not really genuinely trying to get a job and find a job and, cut that dependence as soon as they can. And that is not a balanced relationship. So it's usually a mistake. After the breakup, I knew from someone that she was asking how much I make and how much is it worth in my home country's currency. Yeah, well, then forget it. Forget it. You're lucky that this didn't go anywhere. All right. Excalibur says, haha, you're a great voice actor, Mehran. And the jokes are PG-13, yeah. Or 14. Yeah, the second one was. First one, I wasn't sure I could really get into it and, read it out loud. Excalibur says, Mehran, do you know Austin Go? Well, Go in Farsi means shit. So obviously I don't know anyone with that last name. So he says he has great energy exercises for many health problems on YouTube, and I thought, if you and your knee problem, and if you and your knee problem, and I guarantee you will find something for you in this channel, or just watch Sadhguru and chant. Well, listen, you know, I have I've been trained in meditation for years, and those sort of help of extending energy to parts of the body, I have helped many in my the opportunities came. Had migraine headaches, back pains, my mother, my friends, with migraine headaches and so on. So I always used what I learned in that martial arts and meditation and extended energy key to that part of the body, and we have elaborate understanding of that power and that energy. So I actually do that by myself, putting my hand on my knee, and it's always helpful. But my knee's getting better, I guess. So let's see. Tammy says, that's so true, Mehran. She changed 180 degrees after I started sending her money. Yeah. Excalibur says, Farsi ruined the last name. Yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. If I say to my classmates, let's go, guys. They will. That's right. If you have an H at the end, you'll lose its meaning. So Roman, you haven't been around for so long. Says, nice to see you, Mehran Agha sir, our master Jedi. Thank you, Roman. Good to see you too, as well. Of wisdom and positive energy. Have a nice day. Thank you, dear, as well for you. We're almost there. We're almost finished with our live talk today. Maybe one more thing to read here. Tambi says, I was trying to be a shoulder for her. No, I know where you're coming from. And I always felt sorry for her because she lost her father when she was a little girl. Yes, I understand that. You did good. You did good. And Roman says, male 32 Israel. Yes, thank you, Roman. I already know. That's good. Thank you, but I'd forgotten the 32. And David says, adios. Yes, and that is my cue. Everybody, we have reached to the end of our questions. We've answered all questions. And Excalibur says, you're a great person, Tambi. Oh, you're talking Tambi. Okay. So, I love you all. Thank you, Majid, and bye to you as well. I love you all, guys, and thank you very much for being here and sharing this time with me. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I look forward to talk to you again. Remember, we have uploads every day. Don't forget to check my site, mind@sixtruth.com, and make a Skype consultation with me, and we'll explore things what's on your mind. And at the same time, share the videos you like on your social media, and make sure you find people who are interested to interview me or find out what the channel is all about, write something about us, or make a news of some kind, and get us on the map. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And I'll hope to talk to you soon. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. And bye for now.